my study of linear functions. So how do I graph y equals 2x plus 4? What do I do? Start at positive 4 down to over 1. And this is a solid line, right? So how do I know that this is a solid line? Actually, that might not be clear for people. So do you see how this says less than or equal to? That means we're going to use a solid line because the line is part of our solution. On this one, we're going to use a dotted line because there's no equal to symbol. So the line is not part of our solution. It's just like with the Freiburg Fair example. Are you allowed to spend $50 or do you have to spend less than $50? All right, so now the y's are smaller than the line. So where are the y values smaller? Down here. So because it says y is less than the line, I'm going to shade the region that's below the line. Up 2 over 1, because it's a slope of negative 2 over 1. Down 2 over 1. Down 2 over 1. All right, so this was a graph that a lot of people made a mistake on their test. How do I graph x equals 1? Well, is it vertical or horizontal? Vertical. X equals. So it's undefined. I'm going to do a dotted line at x equals positive 1. And then I have to decide, am I going to shade to the left or to the right? And it says x is bigger than 1. Where are your x values bigger? Over here. So I'm going to shade to the right of the vertical line. Where's your solution region? It's also called a feasible region. Where's your solution region? Right there. What do you need, another color? All right. Can someone, let's do a check for understanding. Can someone tell me one coordinate that lies in the feasible region, the solution region? Give me a coordinate, x comma y. -2. What'd you say? 8 comma what? No, because 8, 6 is up here. I want a coordinate in the solution region. No. No. Okay, you see, this is my solution region. So can you give me a coordinate inside my solution region? So 1, -2 is close, but it lies on the line. Okay, did you guys not graph it on your paper? -6 is over here. Okay. -2 is here. I'm trying to get here. Oh, 2, -2 is right there. So 2 comma -2, if I plugged it in, would make both of my inequalities true. Can someone give me another coordinate inside the feasible region? 2, -6 would work, right? But did everyone understand? Sam's was close, but it was on the dotted line. If it's dotted, you can't lie on the line itself. If it's solid, it would have worked. So 1 comma -2 would work if it was a solid line. So it's important to know what a solution region means. Like you've got to be able to pull one of the solutions out of the solution region. When we did the Freiburg Fair example, 2 meant that I could ride 2 rides and eat 2 snacks at the Freiburg Fair, right? But 10, 0, or I should say 12, 0 was not in the solution region because you couldn't ride 12 rides, right? Because 12 times 5 was $60. let's just do some of these together. I feel like we're a little bit weak on our graphing. Maybe I'll let you do number 4. Let's do 2 and 3 together, just because it's helping some of the people who haven't been here. All right, number 2. Can I graph this baby? What's wrong with it? I can't. It's not y equals. What do I have to do to it? Divide by 2. Who said that? All right. So y is less than or equal to negative 2x, or y equals negative 2x. What's the y-intercept if there's nothing written there? Great. Oh, good. I think if some of you retook the Unit 1 test next week, your graphing skills have improved tremendously this week, some of you. They really have. Like, some of you think now that that's an easy question, but a week ago, we were really struggling graphing these. I hope you appreciate the growth that some of you have made. All right, I start at 0, down 2 over 1, right? Okay, is this going to be a solid or dotted line? Less than or equal to, solid line. All right, we're not talking right now. We're focusing on this. Solid line. Do I shade above or below the line, and why? Why? You're right. Go ahead. Y is smaller than the line, so I'm going to shade below the line. There's a fan right next to your desk. Go ahead and turn it off. Okay. You're super confused on that one? So good point. I look at the y value and I read it to myself. So I say y is less than, or if it was this one, I would say y is greater than. If the y is less than, I circle my smaller y values for myself because I want the y values to be less than the line. On this one, if I want the y values to be bigger than the line, I'm going to circle the bigger y values. So I think about, am I talking about x or y? If I want the y values to be smaller, I'm going to choose the smaller y values. If I want the y values to be bigger, I'm going to choose the bigger y values. Let's do the next one and see if it makes sense. How do I graph y equals x? What does that look like for a slope and a y-intercept? Slope of 1, yes, and okay. I'm going to start at 0 and do a slope of 1 over 1. Should I use a dotted or solid line? Dotted line, it says strictly greater than. So I can't, whatever, can't spend the $50. I have to spend more than $50, let's say. And someone back there was using a pen and they did a dotted versus a solid line. Just feel free to like make breaks in it and write dotted. If you do your quiz in pen tomorrow, don't ask for a new copy. Just write next to the line. If, oh, that was supposed to be dotted. Just write the word dotted for me. You don't have to redo it if it's in pen. All right, should I shade above or below? This says y is greater than. So these y values are bigger than the dotted line. So I want these y values. Yep, so I'm shading above. So if I shade above, then I'm shading in this direction. The whole, you might want to put your ruler there, right? You're shading above the entire line all the way across. Where's my solution region? And can someone tell me a coordinate that lies inside the solution region? Who wants to take a stab at it? Give me a coordinate in there. No. No. Oh, let me see. No. Negative 2, 6 is up here. I think I've got to be below this line, right? I'm trying to be over here. Negative 6, 4 would work. It might be hard to see where I'm shading, sorry. Oh, but I'm not going to send a curveball like this on the quiz, but just as a math student, knowing that this is a problem in math, yeah, curveball. So I'm doing this problem for you and it's not on your quiz, but what would I have to do to get y by itself on question 3? Yeah, so you have to divide by a negative number. Inequalities don't like negative numbers. You actually have to flip the inequality symbol around because you're changing the slope of the line, so it changes the region of shading. I'm not going to ask you a question like this tomorrow. Divide by -4, divide by -4, divide by -4. When I rewrite this problem, I have to turn this symbol around. Y is greater than or equal to -1/2 x minus 2. I will not make you do that step tomorrow. I'll leave it really straightforward like number 2, like we had to divide by 2. But there is a curveball in math. When you divide an inequality by a negative, you flip the sign around. So on the PSAT or SAT, they may throw you the curveball. So I just want you to be wiser. All right, I'm going to graph -1/2 x minus 2 and shade, and I'm going to graph this one in shade. And let's see if we can get the correct solution on our own, like this is a quiz question. So number 3, the way it's set up now, this could be a quiz question tomorrow. So from this line, I'm at -2, down 1, over 2. Make sure you're paying attention to a solid or dotted line. I'm shading above it where the Y values are bigger. Is that what yours looks like, I hope? Then you got to graph the second line on top of it. So the second line starts at -1, up 3 over 1, down 3 over 1. You guys are going to have to check your own work on this one. Make sure you got it right. Y is less than, so it looks like I'm over here, right? Can someone give me a coordinate that's in that region? Trinity? No, I'm trying to get to this region. I need a positive x and a positive y to get in this region, right? Oh, okay, so you told me your solution. 6, 4 would work. I don't know. All right, I'm gonna start graphing this last one here. I start at 2, and I'm going up 1 over 1. Dotted line. So that's my line because the slope was 1, and I'm shading below because y is smaller down here. So I shaded below. On the second example, I need to get y by itself. Yes, what would I do? Add the x. Thank you. So y is greater than x plus 4. Ooh, something interesting is going to happen on this last example. This is a special pair of lines that we learned last unit. I'm starting at 4 and going up 1 over 1, dotted line. What happens? Yeah, and am I shading above or below? Y is greater than, all right. There is no solution, right? Because can I ever find an overlapping section? It's okay for there to be no solution, but you need to write down that there's no solution to get full credit.